don't use.
All right. So am I taking us in? Am I the host this week?
Sure. Should we start off with like a theme song? Should we do it? Should I try and make a little jingle? Hot
I mean,
takes,
I have a piano. And
cold
guitar.
brews. It's the night where we do drinking and get mad at each other.
Hell yeah.
I don't
Hot-
want to do this anymore.
Not
hot
mad at each
take-
other. This is where we get together and gang up on Logan. So it's basically like every other night, but it's recorded.
What do you think the L in cold brews stands for?
I'm taking an L.
I can start it. I kind of want to now.
I believe in
Okay.
you. I
All
believe
right,
in
go
you.
ahead.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Hot Takes Cold Brews. My name is Tyler. Jim Sock Hancock on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. Give me a follow. Take a look if you like what we were about to say. And yeah, welcome. We say whatever is on our mind. Got some topics for tonight, and we're gonna get into it. Drink a little, talk a little, see what happens. Fun times.
Cheers.
How was that?
I forgot beer.
Good. I like that.
I will have a brew for the next one.
You
Swear.
should honestly have 2 brews for the next one because
Okay.
one for next Thursday, one for this Thursday.
Yeah. And one for each topic, so you're gonna need 6.
Yeah.
Just be ready for that.
Don't tempt me with a good podcast.
But yeah,
Hi everyone. Helikovsky. They'll call me Nate. You'll probably hear me referred to as that, but Helikovsky on social media and Twitch. I stream a bunch of games. Lately it's been a lot of RuneScape, so if you want to bore yourself to death, feel free to stop by. Also your resident 1300 ELO chess player. But honestly, I'm just excited to have some heated conversation and some slightly lower temperature alcohol. Glad to
Oh,
be
is
here,
that
kids.
it? Humble
Yeah, go
brag.
typically, yeah, that was a good flex.
Yeah,
Nice humble brag on the elo there. I like that.
thank you, thank you.
Insert generic self introduction here.
You want me to do it for you.
No,
Do it.
I'm Logs Blogs on all socials and Twitch as well. Logan and what they said. I did that
You are
because you're
not a
both above me.
1300 ELO chess player. Sorry.
No, I'm a negative 1300 elo chess player.
Mm.
I'm a
You're a
I'm a 15
cyberpunk. You're a cyberpunk main.
cyberpunk man.
The hot take started
Cyberpunk.
already here. No.
Yeah. So do we just want to get right into the first topic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm down.
The really small indie title that came out yesterday. You
Small-
probably haven't
small
heard of
Which
it.
one was that? Was
You
that
probably
Call of
haven't
Duty?
heard of it.
Oh, was that the new? No, that was the new Halo,
Assassin's
right?
Creed, I think it's from the.
Yeah.
Was
Mhm.
Ubisoft or
Assassin's
Ubisoft?
Creed.
something like
Assassin's Creed, Pop Punk. Was that? Was that-
Diesel Punk, I think it
that?
was.
Assassin's Creed
Diesel,
2077.
Yeah, Cyberpunk. So,
No, I haven't
Um,
heard of that one. No, sorry.
so unfortunately, only Nate and I have played it currently.
No, fortunately, only you
Ooh,
and Nate have played it.
You know, it seems to be the only people talking shit online are the ones who haven't played it now. Seems like everybody who's played it is saying great things.
Okay, all right. No, we can
not
run with that. We can run with
not across the board, I'd say, but yeah, there have been some pretty. Actually, to be honest with you, I would say it's probably 50-50, to be honest.
Oh, I
Eddie
haven't seen
Burback.
anything
So far on
negative.
PS5, Cyberpunk has been a buggy disaster for me. I realize some people are having pretty decent runs, but my god, this game needed way more time.
Nothing but good reviews so far online. I heard.
Okay, and that's on a PlayStation 5.
Anybody that says it's running better on PC is a liar.
Okay, hold
From
on.
Donovan.
Hold-
From Donovan.
Wait
Crip
a
Daddy.
second.
At Real Young Crip on Twitter.
Oh yes, the one and only.
Has 105 likes and 1 retweet, so you know it's good. 106.
And how many followers? How many followers?
Probably more than me.
Let me look. Let me look.
Probably 12.
Definitely more than me.
81.3 thousand followers.
Way more than me.
That's
Oh,
more than
only,
me.
by,
Goddamn.
only by a hair though. I'm close.
Yeah.
I'm catching up.
I will say honestly, maybe you disagree with me, but what I've noticed from most people is that they're saying that they had really high ambitions and they like half delivered. That's what I'm getting from most people. Like nobody's saying that like it's outright everything they expected it to be, but for the most part I've noticed like even the good reviews are saying like it had potential, it's out there, it's fun, but it's only like a half realized version of what they wanted it to be. I don't even know if I agree with that personally, but
I was gonna
that's what I'm
say,
seeing.
I could get on board with that if you were one of the people in the camp of like this is gonna change everything. Because some people
Yeah.
were like, this game's gonna do things games can't even do. But like, I think it's I
didn't
still
hear that.
I
That's
st-
wild.
or just like that implication, right?
This
that like
game
it's
is
gonna
going to
change.
impregnate my wife.
It's gonna excite. Well, hold
Yeah.
hold on. Hold on. I haven't finished it yet. We'll find out.
True.
But like for me, it seems. I mean, I'm only like 8 hours in, so I can't really fully review it. But like, it it seems like it's delivered. Like if this was any other video game without this much hype, I feel like it would be 10 out of 10 across the board. No one would even question it. Personally,
Yeah.
I think it's only because the expectation was so high that it theoretically didn't deliver
Yeah.
because it had unrealistic expectations.
It's almost like a conversation we had a few months ago.
No, that
Maybe.
that wasn't
Pretty
recorded,
similar.
so we don't have to worry about that.
That was recorded,
It was-
actually,
it was
as a
on my
matter of fact.
stream.
I'm pretty sure there's a VOD on
Ooh.
Twitch.
It was on my- it was on
That
my
is
stream.
not. There's not.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I recorded that entire VOD.
Oh fuck!
And saved it to my computers.
Tyler was streaming that night too. I forgot.
Yeah, it was on my stream.
I
It
thought
is
I could get rid of
recorded.
him.
Yeah, I have to say, I think I've only put in like maybe 4 or 5 hours so far, because I started it today, and what I had to say is like, I'm super excited to explore the world, like unbelievably excited. I had a mission or a task that I had to go do, and I drove over like the interstate, and like it comes up from like the bottom clumped parts of the city where it's super dense, and it kind of comes up and gives you a little bit of a reprieve, and you can see like different sections, like left side, right side, like you see like different styles and everything. And I'm just super excited to like get into those areas, because if the way it visually appeals to me is how it plays, I'm gonna be 100% in it. And I was a skeptic, but
Mm.
the only thing that I have an issue with is I feel like, and again, I'm still sort of in the prologue, right? So I don't have too much going on, but like even just doing a couple of the side missions, um I felt like there was so much going on, and not just like visually, but like I got into a fight, or there was like some small side mission where I had to like take out like a gang of people, and like I'm firing and doing all these things, and I'm trying to turn on the like hacko vision where you can kind of see all the things that you can hack in the area, and like I'm still getting blasted and grenades thrown at me, and like kind of in a way I wish so far that it was a little more like Fallout, where like when you go into the VAT system, like everything kind of just stops and you can assess what's going on
Hmm.
and figure out what your game plan is. Whereas this seems like really hectic, and on top of the music being like slamming me in the ears the entire time, which is my fault, right? I can turn the volume down,
Hmm.
but I want the full experience. I'm like trying to make decisions, and there's just like 4 on the floor, just kicks and bass blowing my ears out while I'm trying to make these decisions.
You're like, fuck yeah, fuck
Run the
harder,
jewels.
Daddy.
Just
Yeah.
just
I'm
blaring in
I'm-
your ear.
Yeah, I'm hoping that as I get better at the game, it becomes more clear in those situations, but it feels like engagements are really clustered. I don't know if it's a
Hmm.
bad thing or just something that I dislike, but when I get into like large scale engagements like that, there's so much going on, and it's so hard to like pick apart what I want to
And
do.
I've noticed that like some of the AI will just drop my phone, will charge you, like absolutely will rush your
Mhm.
ass, like and like it's not like traditional AI and
Stand in place and peek, yeah.
Yeah, well, some of them will, and that's what makes it hard, right? You got the
Yeah.
guys in the back who are still shooting you, and then then you just got like 2 of them that rush at you.
I am
not
cool with
even-
that though. It feels pretty organic, right?
and it's not even melee people, right? It'll be people with a gun who just fucking
Yeah.
just decide to bum rush you.
Yeah.
It makes it harder than the game's harder than I thought it would be.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys are
Yeah.
both playing it on hard, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I was gonna do very hard, but I don't
Me
hate
too.
myself that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
wish
have
they had
some
a setting
self
for,
worth.
like erect, like soft.
Same playthrough, normal playthrough, but your penis is fully erect
Yeah,
in the
but
entire game.
you got
Yeah.
a straight penis just bulging out of your pants, ready to bust a nut on whoever.
Hell yeah.
Rod.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
There's like
Um,
every time you crit, it actually does expose and thwacks them, right? For like bonus damage. That'd be pretty sick.
I'm not sure the extent because I haven't even unlocked them yet, but I do know there are abilities that'll do that stuff that you're talking about.
Which
later in the game.
specific stuff?
Uh,
Oh, like
uh,
actually
uh,
freeze time, that kind of deal.
or like slow it down. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
that'll like
yeah.
put you into like a breach and clear kind of time. So yeah,
Okay, yeah.
time freeze almost. Yeah.
Word.
Um, the thing that's actually like surprised me with this game is like I expected the real flavor to be in the side quests. I'm sure they are. I haven't really gotten to where I can start exploring them that much, but I am surprised how much I like the main story. It is it's phenomenal. It's
That's
like
a
it's
good
like
thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
isn't that the whole
yes.
point of the game?
Well, yeah, but like especially in a lot of open world RPGs, they sometimes make these like their main story like a little generic, a little short.
Mhm.
You know, it's just it's there to teach you the game, and then you play the other stuff, or at the very least, like it'll be shitty till the end of the game, you know, and then it'll get good or whatever, and then end. But like,
My first hot take, okay, I want to put it out there.
I can't
That
wait to
kind of
agree with
reminds
you.
me of Skyrim, to be honest with you.
that's exactly what.
The main story of Skyrim was bland.
You know what pisses
Super
me off
bland.
about Skyrim really quick?
Oh boy, here we go. Let's go.
Watch yourself. I still love.
Hold
the
on,
game.
I'm sitting up. Okay, go ahead.
Watch
yourself here.
I played the game for maybe like 3 hours, right?
Oh,
And-
The full experience. Okay.
Right. I went to the first village. I killed a chicken, and I didn't. I wasn't able to progress for like 3 days. I would pick up the game again, and it was like, hey, I remember you from 37 hours ago. You killed my chicken, and then the whole town comes at you, and I'm like, how do I progress? And then
news moves slowly there, so like that guy probably just found out like 30 minutes before he turned it back on. I mean,
it's delivery chickens, and I killed his delivery chicken, so he had to go by foot. But yeah, and then after a while, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. I think because of that, so I was eventually able to progress, and I got my Fus Roda, and then I Fus Roda'd myself off the mountain to see how far I would go before I despawned.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think in general, to get back to Cyberpunk, I've had, obviously I've had time to watch, both of you guys play it, and in the hours that I've seen you guys play it, it looks like it could be entertaining, but I don't see longevity in it.
I think honestly, just from the short amount of time that I put into it, I'm super excited to just log on for a couple of hours and just like explore, to be honest. And that's what I wanted out of the game. A lot of people are super excited and invested in storytelling from CD Projekt Red and all that kind of stuff, but I'm excited to just like run around and do side quests and get sick ass guns. Like Logan knows, I don't know if I had this conversation with you, Tyler, but I said that I'm putting like all my points into the tech tree because I want to be able to fully customize all of my stuff, like all of my guns. And the tech tree like doesn't really have that many bonuses other than like super powerful explosives and the ability to craft like crazy rare gear. So like I just want to get into side quests, get super rare materials, make them into crazy shit and blast some heads off. Like that's the goal for me. And that I think there's going to be a lot of not replayability, but like my one character is going to get a lot of play. I think just because of that.
Right.
Now, what I will say is if and when they do add multiplayer, that world is going to be sick for RP.
Yeah, and I think that's
which they have announced they are.
They have.
So,
Okay. You know what it kind of reminds me of? Like the game in general. It kind of gives me like a Borderlands vibe in terms of like shoot 'em up games and in terms of like side quests available and but that's why I have that fear with Cyberpunk is because Borderlands to me, I played through the story once and I don't really feel the need to pick it up again. That's
it's
why
because it's made for different people, right? Like I think Logan can agree because I mean I put in a decent amount of time into Borderlands games. Logan has put a lot of time into Borderlands games, and it depends on what you want out of the game, right? If you want a good story and blow them up and shoot them up kind of deal, you're gonna get one playthrough out of Borderlands or Cyberpunk or whatever. But the loot chasing, the gear grinding is like that's paramount to anything else, especially in Borderlands. But I feel like in Cyberpunk, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna
also,
be. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say on top of that, like you're gonna have that in a game that also has, it seems to be unparalleled choice so far. Like
Yeah.
I've heard of like 10 different endings now already.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, I'm surprised by the amount of dialogue options I have at such an early uh, point in the game. Just doing the
yeah,
prologue, the background that I chose gives me specific options, and like I have seen how they've played out in the scenarios. Right, like I'm doing just.
mhm,
And I'm not going to go super spoilery, right? Obviously, but
Yeah, please. Some of us are
there's
still playing the game.
there's a point just like an hour in where you have to partner up with this lady that works for a company that because I chose crypto as my path, like I'm a part of all of the like elites of the city or whatever, or I was a part of the elites of the city. I had dialogue options where like I can basically I said to this person, I was like, I understand what situation you're in. I can help you. Whereas if I wasn't that, I literally don't get that option, and the cutscene that I'm in and the way that I had to go about the next mission is totally different, and I can see that right off the bat.
mm. So that's actually funny because I know exactly what mission you're talking about,
Mhm.
and for me, it actually for me was interesting where I had to deal with that same character, but I was doing it from not from a position of power. So
Mhm.
like when I negotiated, like she had all the power in that scene, and like
Yeah.
was dictating all the terms.
Should
It
have
was like
invested
this
in
is what's
crypto,
gonna
dude.
happen. Corpo.
Corpo.
Corpo. Did I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
crypto? Holy shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Woo.
But I also invest in crypto.
Sorry, yeah, I was thinking about my Ripple skyrocketing. I just
Yeah,
couldn't think of anything
The
else.
time is now. I've been told by my friend. The time is
The
now
time
to
is now
invest.
again.
Right.
Yeah,
Time
but
it's always the time.
they're also like because I put all my points into tech.
Mhm.
So the way it works when you set up your character, each of the 5 different like main skills or attributes start at 3 points, and you can't go below 3 points. When you're making your character, you also can't go above 6 points. I think it's 6 or maybe it's 7.
Oh,
Whatever it
okay.
was.
I didn't try to max
like,
any out. Oh.
Yeah, so if you try to max it out, you can only go to like 6 to start. I have only put my level up points into tech so far. And there was a point, Logan, you'll probably know, the second time that you go to that bar and then you're talking to the tech before you go into the brain dance.
Mhm.
Because my tech was so high, I had a dialogue option that talks about all of the stuff that she uses. Like I walk in and instead of being like, wow, this is crazy, I have like a whole 2 or 3 lines of dialogue that are,
Oh.
oh, I know what chips in that and I know who makes that and this and that, and then like
Oh.
formed sort of like a relationship with that person. I don't know if it'll have any effect on like side missions going forward, but I would assume they do.
Hmm.
And the only way that I had access to that dialogue line was to have a 10 in tech, which was the maximum amount. Like I had to put every point in tech. It's the
Oh,
only way to
okay.
get the dialogue
Holy
option.
shit.
So if that's the case,
Hmm.
replayability for like min-maxed characters is probably there too, because like there's things
Hmm.
you're not going to get unless you are absolutely min-maxed in one category, and
Mhm.
that's a very clear example.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm making a like I'm not like doing like, 1 point for each thing, but I am like, I'm putting points spread out pretty well. But I
Yeah,
put a lot into they call it cool, but it's basically, uh uh charisma and every other game.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it is funny to have that kind of leveled up. I get a lot of sarcastic one-liners, or
yeah,
like
yeah,
or like observational stuff too.
yeah.
Like if someone's hiding something, like my character, I'll have an option to point it out,
Like
and
saying
that'll give
stuff.
me,
Yeah,
and that'll give me like leverage in the conversation.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Can we
Mhm.
talk
There are
about?
also times because I put no points in whatever the melee like bonus is.
Mm.
So I get to a point where I can choose to like beat the guy up or like intimidate, and it's like 3 out of 7 or something like that I need, and I was like, I'm probably not going to try that.
So what's the deal with the transphobia with Cyberpunk? Like do we know like the
Yes, 3 cis white men talking about this.
Oh
well no
yeah,
I'm just saying like you guys have experienced playing the game, and I know that yeah we're 3 cis
Mhm.
hetero men, but I was curious as to if you've come across any blatant transphobia during the gameplay that you guys have had that you think might actually cause a problem with Like with the longevity of the game and with the audience that they're trying to get across to.
I haven't seen anything in game. No.
Okay.
There is the question of that one ad.
Yep. The mix it up ad, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very subjective, and again, my perspective is not the one that should be leading the conversation on this kind of thing.
And I think that should just be a general, like, we are not part of that community.
Disclaimer. Yes.
We are.
Yeah.
We
So
support the LGBTQ plus community, but we are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community.
And inherently, me saying I don't see a problem with it doesn't mean there isn't a problem with it. You know what
It's
I
just
mean?
that you have blinders on for being a cis hetero male, that it's impossible to really just like pinpoint specific issues in the game.
I will say I'm very surprised, right? So there's a couple of issues. Logan, actually, you might be able to elaborate on. There were some issues in the past with CD Projekt Red while they were making the game that were kind of an issue. But of what I've seen, the advertisement that got a lot of flack and was called out a few days before the release of the game, and I think they talked about it before, but like it blew up again right before the release. I don't personally see it, I guess, in the same light that I saw some of the complaints come from. Again, without being, somebody that can have, a very specific opinion on it. The way that it is basically, so it's just an image. It's for a product called Mix It Up, and the tagline is like 16 flavors you'd love to mix up, right? And their play on this is they commodify the idea of being transgender, and specifically in the image, it is for the most part like waist up, outwardly presenting as female, but you can see like a huge like line where whoever's on the advertisements magnum dong is. You can see it like just
so monster cock.
Monster cock.
Use the scientific term.
Yes,
monster cock.
So what they were saying, right, is saying that they're like commodifying like trans folk and saying that you can't just throw this up and say that this is an okay advertisement because you're turning it into whatever advertisement for a product or whatever.
Right.
And I get it, and it's not that I necessarily disagree, but like when I view it personally, like when I just walk up to it as a spectator in the game and I see the advertisement, and I said this to Logan earlier today, I think, while I was playing. To me, it doesn't even seem like that was really the goal. Like I think maybe there's like a conclusion being drawn between two things that aren't related there. Because to me, like the hairstyle is kind of, I mean, could be perceived as like feminine, but it's basically like shaved half of the head. The other half of the head is like a straight, like neon blonde hair over the side, and like makeup and lipstick and stuff. But from what I've seen of the game so far, it just seems that like there's a lot more like gender fluidity across the board.
Right.
And outside of even like the cybernetics that you can get added to your character and everything, like when I'm making my character, it doesn't ask me, okay, you're male, so no fingernail options, no makeup. Like you just make your character, and all of the options are available to everyone for every category. You can do everything. So for example, like I don't think I ended up picking one because I couldn't see them. They didn't like get close enough to my hands. But you can have nail polish and you just pick it and you have it on your hands. And being in first person, you see them all the time when you're moving around and stuff.
Right.
But like my character has like eyeshadow just because I thought it looked good. Like I thought it looked cool.
Eyeshadow's fucking hot, bro.
So like I didn't really see it as them like marketing like somebody that's transgender. It just looked like somebody that has a massive dong and this is how they dress. Like it
this
didn't
person's
seem
packing heat and you know it.
Yeah. It didn't seem like it was trying to sell that person as a specific, identity or anything like that. It just seemed like, hey, everybody looks like this and has 15 different things that normally you don't associate with each other all in the same person. And that's the whole idea, right? Is mix it up or whatever.
Right.
A crazy hairstyle and a massive dong and wearing a leotard and, everything going on at the same time is kind of the idea.
And I think that is part of the problem, though, is like why people are seeing it as at least at best dismissive and at worst transphobic, because because in a vacuum, you're right that one poster is not the end of the world. Like at least how we see it. We could be wrong, with our privilege blinders. But
Right.
the thing is that also is that like a lot of the attitude of the game's advertisement was presenting things of that nature, and
Mhm.
and like it was this kind of theme of like do whatever you want, or like be crazy, right?
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
it's so, and I think the issue that people had is like that's implying that these things are not normal, that like
Okay.
these things are like going hog wild in a fantasy game, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
it
oh
doesn't.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it's like
think it.
these aren't real people. Oh God, no, it's like you're going nuts in a video
Yeah,
game. And I
Right.
actually, I
think
guess
that's the issue that people have with it, is because it's just that it's like, well,
that
they're
makes a lot of sense. That because it's such
Mhm,
a dystopic like place in society, that they try to make it seem like that's a bad thing, but you can do whatever you want.
mhm,
I think you're right. Yeah, if they did a better job at presenting it as, I mean, if it wasn't a dystopia, right? If it was presented as something like great and grand, you'd be like, oh, all of these people
mhm,
do whatever they want with their bodies because nobody
mhm.
has an opinion on it anymore, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Which is like the utopic vision of the same thing, as long as it was presented that way. But because it's a dystopia, because people are doing anything they can to alter their body, yeah, I get that.
yeah,
That
and,
makes
and 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 that's the thing too. And the game kind of presents that idea, as you said. It's instead of like, hey, we're doing this because it's who we are. That's the game's like, fuck it, this is crazy.
yeah,
It's weird. It's
yeah,
weird. I'm gonna
everybody,
do it because
yeah.
yeah. Which that's the problem, is calling it weird.
Mhm.
I mean, they aren't doing that directly, but they, yeah, the
Yeah,
definitely
and I
what they're
guess
almost conveying.
again, just because of the perception I'm coming in with, I don't see it
Hmm.
as a bad thing because my perception of what I'm experiencing is everybody does what they want, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Which isn't necessarily the way that they were putting it into the game. It's just my
Yeah,
perception of it, which
And
isn't a fair assessment.
I think
and that
something too
yeah.
to keep in mind is like when it comes to inclusivity in video games, I think no game that is as large as Cyberpunk has been or is does they don't get it right every time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
but I do think though, yes, this game from only from what I've read, because again we though we stand with the LGBTQ plus community, we're not a part of it, so we have the privilege of not having to face that day to day issues that people like that are discriminated against have. So it's hard for us to like single it out and be like that's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
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 um
Because I'm not seeing it every day, right? I
right,
just see
right.
this and go, oh,
Like
okay,
it's not
whatever. And
shoved
I
in your
move on with
face
my life.
like
Yeah.
men's bathroom, women's bathroom, and you're like
Yeah.
but I do believe that with the amount of options and selection that this game has given people, I think it is taking a step forward in terms of allowing a more inclusive experience with people. Um,
Now,
but
Well, the other thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Nate.
yeah, well, I think we're about to say the same thing. The
Hmm.
thing that seems more egregious to me,
mhm,
because that's also what I'm comparing it to,
right,
is you have all those options for your character. You can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
And there are, forget the fact that you can only choose male or female
yeah,
based on your voice, right? Forget the
Hmm.
fact that you can just only choose two and there's not like 8, 12 different voices and you can choose whatever and just
Even
slot them
Call of
in.
Duty had 9 binary this year, and they
Yeah.
couldn't.
yeah,
They only had two options, male or female, and that decided how your character was
On voice too.
how the pronouns were for the rest of the game
right,
based on a voice. Which that's the thing is like imagine going through all that effort and I think like actively making the decision. Okay, when you make your character, you have all 100% options regardless of who you want your character to be or what you
right,
want your character to be, except a voice. To go that far and then to just do that just seems like they had an opportunity to like actually knock it out of the park and say anybody that wants to play our game you can be exactly who you want to be, and then just to strip it away by saying well you only get two voices and
right,
there's only two
right.
genders you can choose from. I think that's kind of wild. That's
Yeah.
insane. And no they option,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to even
When,
put
yeah.
even put that in, how would you like to be referred to? It would take 2 seconds because they already have he and she in each of the dialogues, right? They
Right.
have those options. To have a voice actor say they a few times or them is unbelievably easy.
Call of Duty did it.
Yeah,
That's the part I
it's
can't
so
get over.
easy.
in a game in the 80s where it's like CIA, hardcore CIA operatives
Yeah,
are properly gendering someone, and they can't do it in the game that tried to market itself on being extremely woke
yeah,
in
Yeah.
some aspects. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And that's the
a little bad.
heartbreaker for me. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess
Speak-
that's kind of what made the ad not as bad, is because I was like, oh, this just
Yeah.
seems reasonable. But then if I look at it through the lens that they kind of went 80%
Mhm.
everywhere else, then it starts to seem a little bit more egregious.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't see the character select screens, so like I actually wasn't able to witness what the experience was selecting your character. But now that I realize that they only had the 2 voices, that's super fucked.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But keeping on topic with Cyberpunk, talking about all the layered issues that it came with, day of release in terms of bugs and everything. I think it's a good transition to switch over to our other topic, which is which console had the better launch. Because Cyberpunk, I'll end it with this: is that Cyberpunk has a slew of issues, code wise and inclusivity wise, but the PlayStation, the PS5, and the Xbox One, I guess they had some very serious issues with it in terms of like bug crashes and shit. I don't want to get too much into it, only because I haven't experienced anything because I don't own them on either console. But I do think that it's a good segue to bring up which console we believe had the better launch.
Mm.
And for the record, I have no numbers on either console.
I was gonna say, me too.
I have-
It's all
I have a
anecdotal
couple.
evidence
I have a couple. And I have a couple of like small things pulled up, but for the most part, I'll tell you honestly. Name the number of people that you know in your personal life that said that they pre-ordered an Xbox. That's the way I
I agree.
I have a group of friends that have sat on Walmart, have sat on Amazon, have sat on Best Buy, have sat on Target for the pre-orders. I have people that like have stayed up late to make sure that they get the order and don't get it, right? Because people are ordering it so fast and they're bots for PS5s, right? I mean,
I think the whole idea of going into the topic of poachers is great after we just
I'd
talk
love
about
to.
like the release in general.
Yeah.
Tyler, on your screen, are you above me right here? Because I was pointing to you when he said he had friends who stayed up late.
You're pointing to me on my
Oh,
screen.
okay. How about over
You're
here?
pointing to me too.
Oh, wait.
No, I'm
okay.
sorry. You're pointing
Oh,
to you're pointing to Nate on my screen as well.
Okay. How about up here then? Up here?
I didn't sit.
That's pretty good.
I just so happened to go onto Walmart and I saw that they were doing a deal at noon. So
Oh, really?
We talk about
I went on at 11:59 and I refreshed the page right at noon and the game crashed. Or not the game. I mean, I guess it's a game. It's a game.
No, that we're going back to Cyberpunk now.
Yeah, here we go.
It only crashed on me one time.
You know what I think is crazy? I think that the PS5 won this one hands down in terms of launch, strictly because of the same day release of console exclusives.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's more reason to buy one, right?
Right. I mean, what came out with the
mhm.
Spider-Man? Miles Morales came out the same day.
Demon Souls.
Demon Souls was
Yeah,
huge.
Souls came out, which is
I
huge.
watched every streamer I love to watch was playing it.
Yep.
Besides you guys, that was God damn it, you got me.
Oh, but we don't have PS5s, right? So
Right,
it makes
right,
sense.
Yeah.
I tried.
Do you remember when I had a pre-order and canceled it?
Yeah, you're
do.
literally the worst kind of person. I can't
Not
believe
only
you did
did he spend $500 and then get refunded $500, he had the opportunity to turn that $500 into triple the money in like 40 seconds and said, "You know what? I just don't want to."
I would never do that. No, I fuck scalpers, dude. Fuck them. They're down.
This
Kill
is
'em.
capitalism, bro. You got to learn to poach.
You gotta live.
Beat 'em.
You gotta live in the machine. You know.
Be
Oh, I
one
am.
with the,
Be
be
I'm
one
in
with the
Cyberpunk.
Matrix. Take
Yeah,
that,
I'm in
was it the red pill?
Cyberpunk. Yes. No, blue.
Is the blue pill?
Red was to get out. Yeah, blue was to stay in.
Yeah, just stay in.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah.
As a longtime Xbox fanboy, I mean, I will caveat by saying I think Microsoft is playing a long game here with Game Pass.
Yep, agree. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was
that
gonna
doesn't-
say that. Yep.
Honestly, like I think if they didn't, which they kind of they they shot themselves in the foot short term for long term benefit. I think if they didn't say like, hey, every single cool game coming out on Xbox will be on PC Game Pass too, then I think more people would have been buying the Series X, myself included, maybe.
I think,
but I don't have to
yeah.
get it now.
Exactly. I think the thing is Microsoft is, I mean, Sony in the video game space has to work off of hardware. They don't have the same separate entity, right? Like
Yeah.
Microsoft has people on PC, but people at Microsoft are realizing, because they don't need to sell a large number of consoles. Sell it to the people who need to have consoles in order to play games, and don't try to sell it to every household in America, because hardware sales don't make the company's money. And that has been the case for at least a dozen to 15, 20 years or whatever. Like, consoles don't make the money. It's the money they make off the games that make them the large sums of money. So what they did is they doubled down on the games make us money and offered the Game Pass. So like, our topic is specifically who had the better console launch.
Yes, yeah.
In my eyes, at this point in time, Sony's going to have the better console launch probably for the rest of eternity. Like, when PlayStation 65 comes out, it's going to beat the Xbox Theta X Delta Pi, whatever they put out.
Omega.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's literally just like it's not even a physical console. It's just like it's like a chip that goes into your brain in the shape of an X, right? Like, that's all, you know.
You are the console now.
Yeah, but as far as like success just in general, I mean, Game Pass across the board, it's unstoppable. There's nothing better in the market for people who want to put in the money but want to play their exclusives and want to have their parties with friends that aren't super into PC. They can get the console if they want, and then if people have the PC already, you pay $5 to $15 a month depending on what you want out of the package, right? And you're in. You can play with those same friends that have the console. You can play all the games, all the exclusives, what ones Xbox does have. And they're just going to make money hand over fist. And subscription models have been the way to go for at least the last decade. I mean, subscriptions are the way to go. That's how the world works now. But
I just quickly got to an article about the Xbox Game Pass. I guess they're going to find a way to get it to iOS in spring 2021.
Wow.
By like circumnavigating the Apple Store and using like a third-party app installer.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's fucking crazy. I was trying to find somewhere. I don't think I'll have enough time, but oh yeah, here it is. The Verge put something out. It was a while ago, like closer to Thanksgiving. Where it's just saying that I think the direction that Microsoft is going is, in terms of the Xboxes, it's possible that they're looking into changing Xbox from a console to an app for your TV. Where instead of a console, you load up the app and that will bring you to the Xbox, whatever.
Like Stadia, but not garbage.
Yeah, or I mean, it could be like Stadia, but worse. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, absolutely lukewarm take. Stadia is. I appreciate the ambition, but
yes, yeah, I
they
agree.
knew that Stadia was not going to be good.
The worst part is they are pushing it still.
We can't solve latency. I wonder. I will check really quick if you guys want to riff for a second. I'm curious how many active monthly users there are on Stadia.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Can we guess?
I don't think it's triple digits, but we're gonna find out.
I don't. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be close though. I'm gonna say like roughly 82,000 people.
So all of Stadia, is it global? Stadia is it's global, right?
Stadia is international, yeah.
So monthly users you're looking for?
Like that use it at least once per month, right? Like the average.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 50,000. Even that sounds too high, but I'm gonna go with 50. I'm going with it.
I got 88. You can't stop me.
I'm going with 50, but it might be 32. I don't know why. That just popped in my head. But I'm saying 50.
But I feel like it's going to come out of nowhere. It's going to be like 150,000. I feel like it's going to
I just don't see it. Like, okay, I understand that like we're gamers, right? So like we sit
Yeah,
there and
baby.
we scoff at it, but like even the casual player,
Me.
there's no way that Stadia has less than like 150 millisecond or 150 millisecond lag. There's no way.
Right.
And even casual gamers are going to
Mhm.
feel that. They're going to be like, "Oh, I was walking to the left and then I turned and I kept walking and I died," or
Mhm.
and that just doesn't feel good. There's no way you get somebody on board to constantly play with that much lag.
Right.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
How many is it? Did you find it?
I'm still looking. I'm still trying to
Okay.
parse through. 9 months ago, it had 500,000 downloads, but like
Mm-hmm.
I would
That-
even download
that was-
it like
yeah.
to try it, you know, and then
Yeah.
drop it immediately after.
At
So
the
it's
end of the
too
day,
much.
Mhm.
what game company do you think is going to last the longest?
Video game company. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
or like the major corps, like Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft.
Oh well. I mean, it's Microsoft because of Windows.
Well, no, I mean like if you were looking at like how long do you think they're going to produce consoles? Is what I'm saying. Like who do you think is going to be the last
well,
company?
It'll be
standing?
Nintendo because they're 10 years behind everybody else. So that's
There it is.
Free Melee,
everybody's
baby,
making
save
consoles
Smash.
they're gonna be like, we're finally putting a.
We're putting
No,
rollback netcode on all of our games.
Sephiroth in Smash.
You know what makes me
Vigoroth
really
and
mad
Smash.
about that, by the way, small aside, is they've been dog shit for the last 2 weeks for all of their decisions, and then they
Yep.
put a banger of a character in those.
I was gonna say, I've
I already
as
have the
much-
pass, so I don't have to buy it again.
Yeah,
Literally
yeah,
the same.
true, yeah. Same as much as like Tyler and I are like, I've never played Final Fantasy. I don't think you have either. So like to us, it's like what the fuck, who cares? But I've heard people are really hyped for Sephiroth.
Yeah, people are like, I never expected.
Yeah,
this
people are really hyped
character.
for him.
I mean, it's trending.
I
on
was
Twitter
like
right now,
another.
so.
I was like, oh yeah, it's number one. I was like, oh, another sword character. Let's go. But I don't know. It's yeah. They're not. I don't know. I have no faith in that company anymore.
I think.
I mean, I
it'll-
haven't in years, but
Right. I think it'll. When it comes to like hype for a new Smash character, this is a big riff now. We are going on the fucking walls.
true.
I think there's only a couple characters that can do damage via the internet that Minecraft Steve did.
Da, 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 da,
I mean,
da, da,
Minecraft Steve
da,
broke
da,
the
da,
internet.
da, 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 da. What was that? Sorry.
Minecraft Steve broke the internet.
Yeah.
So hot theory here. I think they're saving Master Chief for Halo Infinite, like to like coincide.
I would think more yes until it got delayed until fall of 2021.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the thing though, right? Is like earlier this year there was like a lot of like, oh, Chief's probably coming, and like those rumors come from somewhere, and I think that was before Halo got delayed. I think it was gonna coincide because that's what Nintendo does with all their other stuff, right? That's why there's a
Sometimes.
billion. That's why there's a billion Fire Emblem characters, because every time a new Fire Emblem comes out, Nintendo's like, oh, Sakurai, it's time for your Fire Emblem session. Yes, honey.
Sakurai's like, yeah. Yes, honey, I'm coming. Peg me with the Marth tipper. Thank you.
I think that like, or even if it's not planned, they have a year to do it now because Halo got delayed till the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out in the spring. Well, originally this fall, and then spring, and now next fall.
I think there's 3 characters that can do what Steve did, and I think it's Sora.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
Sora.
think Sora will absolutely break the fucking internet. I
Mm.
think Crash Bandicoot has potential to break the internet.
I feel like he's too expected. I expect him to be in the game eventually.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
I don't know.
And Waluigi.
Oh well, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, he can't. He's
I
an assist trophy. He can't be, right?
I would say
Yeah,
no,
broke
because
that.
they broke that.
Because
Yeah, they
Byleth
broke
was
that.
an assist
Oh.
trophy, wasn't it? Weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, but in the same game though.
But I would say Goku, if it ever happened, would break the internet, would be my second guess over Sora.
Hmm.
And then I think honestly Master Chief would probably blow up. The only
Yeah.
person I want to Smash and their whole fucking moveset works perfectly is Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
There's no
Mm.
reason the Knight is not in the game.
Well, they
Yeah.
even like people were like drawing up like prospective smash attacks and like
It's
his
perfect.
moveset.
It's perfect. It's his entire move, like actual abilities that he has in game are literally the same ones that you have in Smash.
I would
Is Hollow
love
Knight?
to see Bandana Waddle Dee just show up.
I don't even know who that is.
It's like if Kirby and Meta Knight fucked King DDD at the same time.
Oh,
So,
Yeah,
I've
think about that for a
I've
little
seen
bit.
that. I've read that fanfic.
I wrote that fanfic.
so just to
good.
wrap us back
Yes.
around,
Yeah.
Stadia.
I don't
Stadia.
have the numbers. I don't have the numbers yet. I'm still searching.
because they don't have them. There's nobody.
But apparently, Cyberpunk runs the best on Stadia,
No shit.
and there's no download. I'm reading through their Reddit, and maybe it's an echo chamber here, but there's a ton of outlets saying that if there's a place that you want to play Stadia or Cyberpunk right now, it's Stadia. Because
No,
there's no download. It streams at 4K 30 FPS or 1080p 60 FPS on any of
Okay.
your devices. And if that's true,
Shit.
maybe this is finally time for maybe Stadia finally blows up. Maybe we
Well,
jumped in right before
here's-
the wave, you know?
Here's
Right,
what I
right.
heard, and I heard this when Stadia came out, and the coinciding months after, is that if you live in New York, LA, if you live in a city hub where you have fiber optic internet, then it runs well. Like it works like very, very well in your house and everything like that, and on your Wi-Fi or even hooked up or something. The issue is when you live anywhere else in the world or the country or
Yeah,
in the
fuck
U.S.
the mountains, bro.
You know,
Give me a
yeah.
skyscraper.
The issue is when you're not in a place with gigabyte fiber optic internet. But if you have perfect conditions that run that's every review I've heard from people who live in like LA and stuff. They're like, yeah, it works great for me. So
Have you guys seen the tweet from Microsoft about them literally asking kids to stop vaping into their Xbox?
yes, because
Oh yeah, because they're doing those videos.
The funniest,
Yeah.
that's the funniest thing too.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
like,
I thought
well,
it was real. I fell for it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Ew, bro, my
"Damn."
Xbox is burning and the smoke's just coming out.
and that's something too, man. Like, I didn't really hear a whole lot about Xbox like functional hardware issues, but like PS5s blow up. They catch
Yeah,
fire,
well,
bro.
They also get smashed by sledgehammers. I'll send you guys that video after.
Ooh,
but
please.
please
Yeah, I want
do.
that. I want that.
This is very anecdotal, but like I have seen the PS5 shut off multiple times in a stream, like watching Critical and Hassan play, and also like two other streamers individually. I've seen it happen at least once per streamer with the PS5.
Can you? I think if I had to go through the amount of work that people have had to go through in order to secure the bag, and for it to literally catch fire like that, or just to shut down randomly, I would be livid.
I will say they didn't break. They just shut off. They're just
Right.
like, oh hey, I'm angry for no reason. I'm
Right.
turning off.
That's what I'm
And then,
saying.
then,
though, like,
then they just turn it back on. But
I think the better launch was PS5, but I think the most secure longevity wise, I think you guys are right. I think it's the Xbox.
Yeah,
I think it's the
for sure.
Xbox.
mhm.
I
That
think
was-
what
I was gonna
Yeah.
say at least as an ecosystem.
right.
I mean the Series X maybe not. Like I think it's a badly named console.
It's a badly named,
it-
badly shaped.
I'm okay with it because I'm okay with how a computer looks. So
Right,
like that's
but
why I'm okay with it.
If I
The
if I'm
second
okay,
thing-
oh go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If I'm okay with the way that a computer looks, which I am, I expect my Xbox that looks like a computer to function the same as a computer.
Yeah.
I don't want a
I mean-
refrigerator of an Xbox to only be able to play video games on. Let
30
me
FPS.
roam Twitter on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, I think it.
Let
I
me
think
watch
that the
anime
series-
on my Xbox.
I mean, I'm
You can
sure
do
the
that.
actual.
You can do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can definitely do
Let
that.
me get
I can do that
viruses on my
One
Xbox.
X.
You can definitely
Actually,
do
you
that.
can definitely do that.
Just let me
I
vape
think,
into my Xbox.
shouldn't do that. I don't have like actual numbers. I'm sure they're out there, but I think like the Series X and the PlayStation 5 at this point are like comparable to like any of the like 10, 10 series, right? Like if you had a PC build with like a 1080 or something, like I'm pretty sure that these, or even maybe like a lower end 20 series, I'm sure that at this point the consoles have caught up to those, right? I mean, I don't know. That's just my ignorant take. Like, I mean, they're playing games. Like, I was watching someone play Yakuza Like a Dragon last night on. I mean, they're on a monitor, obviously, so optimal experience, but it looked great and it had a great frame rate and everything.
GPU
I wouldn't
in the
have
Xbox
known.
Series X would be equivalent to 2060, 2070 Super. but it would be slightly
Really?
undervolted.
Probably, yeah.
Really?
Because it's optimized too. So is
Oh yeah.
are the current gen consoles, they're using a specialized GPU, right? They're
Yes,
not.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is they're
It's all
optimized.
proprietary.
They don't do any functions outside of have a home page and play video games. So
Yeah.
what they can do
True.
is they can specifically design, and humble brag. Well, I guess it's not a brag, but I work in that industry. So like I see when we do like specialized chipsets for like, I can't really say specific things, but when we make specialized chipsets, that's the function. We say, okay, let's get rid of all these things that it literally doesn't need to use, and now all of the design space that we have available is just to make everything as efficient as possible, to pump out the best graphical quality, the best, read write speeds, all that kind of stuff is literally designed in to be perfect, because the technology that they're using now is kind of perfected. Like, it's just specialized now. Now what you're doing is you're specializing a specific chipset to do a specific thing. So
All those teraflops.
true.
Yeah. The
Real-
PS5 is
real
equivalent to a 2080 Super, by the way.
I believe it. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna say, like, watching people play the new Spider-Man, it looks good.
Dude, I am
It looks good.
so excited to eventually have a PS5 that won't explode, and to have the ability to play Spider-Man. That's all that I want. All that I want. I just want to play Spider-Man. Just let me play Spider-Man and let me be Miles Morales, and just let me swing across New York City so that I can be a fucking superhero, please.
All that exaggerated black teen swagger, dude.
All the
Literally, let me be a dramatic little boy in New York City who's best friends with a fucking superhero who's like, hey, let me teach you the ropes while you deal with puberty. And Miles Morales is like, my dad died. And Peter Parker's like, my uncle died. And then they're like, let's make out. And he's like, okay. And then it just gets out of nowhere. And then suddenly,
my favorite fanfic.
They're both fucking swinging webs out of their dicks. And they're hanging out at top skyscrapers, upside down, kissing each other. And all that I want is to be able to do that with ray tracing on a PlayStation.
I actually have to go because that
are you also turned on?
It erected something in me that I didn't know could be erected anymore.
My penis just went from small to big.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
slightly less small.
can we talk about that in Cyberpunk? Or I'm a little disappointed.
God. Oh,
Why can I not have the 30-inch fucking
I'm telling you, no spoilers. One spoiler, you get Magnum Dong attachment.
I've never heard of that. Is that like confirmed?
Confirmed.
I'm looking it up in incognito right now.
The other thing that I was thinking too, right, is the mod community. All the
Say it again. Sorry, I accidentally muted everybody.
Oh, I don't know what the actual name of it is, but there's a modification that you can have to increase the size of either genitalia.
Yeah, I'm looking up right now.
Wait, what would that look like? Oh no!
Google Magnum Dong Cyberpunk achievement.
I'm sorry, ladies.
I actually think there is an achievement for that. You were right.
Oh, I got an interesting achievement when I was playing. In the very first mission where they give you combat, it's the same across the board. It's after you're done with your life path. When Jackie's like, here, hit this Jack for the tutorial. I said no, and the achievement was like fool's party or fool's idea or something like that. Like, and it was
when he like gives you the little inhaler thing or whatever. Yeah, I declined it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, in the car. Jackie offers you a little chip.
Oh, a chip. Okay, yeah.
For the tutorial, yeah.
Yep.
I said no because I was like, I played FPSs, and it gave me an achievement that was like, on your first time, deny the tutorial.
Yeah, pop into Logan's stream 2 or 3 days from now when he's complaining about all the things that he doesn't understand how they work because he didn't do the tutorial.
I mean, what was in there besides point and shoot? I figured everything else out.
There was a lot of other stuff in there, no joke.
Oh, was there really? Because I feel like the game walked me through everything else afterwards.
There were four separate chapters in there.
I'm gonna send you guys a link to a tweet.
Oh yeah, please, yeah.
Because like I've every single combat encounter, I've been fine. I did have to learn the hard way against those giant mechs with the arm guns to shoot the arm
Oh
guns.
my god, spoilers! I'm not even there yet. Mechs with arm guns? Come on.
Wait, oh come on, those are yeah, you come on, you know about
I'm
those.
actually not there.
Oh, whoa, wait, what is this? Oh, it's glitching through. Oh no, Jamie, pull that shit up.
Yeah, our production team just get the picture up on the front when the video comes out.
Tyler, our production team, Tyler.
Do what I can.
But yeah. Okay. So I think we're done. We've gone so off the rails, but like I think we're all set with the console launch, right?
We know who won.
Yeah,
We know who won.
Yeah, it was
PS5 won,
Sony. Yeah.
It was
won,
the
whatever.
Switch.
The last thing I want to say is Sony won. But Sony
It was
won.
not Melee.
Yeah, Melee was the only loser.
The only loser was Melee. Sorry, Tyler.
Rest in peace, bro. I can't even find my fucking controller. I'm livid. I don't know where it went. I'm gonna have to pull out one of the other 6 controllers.
I mean, it's not like you need it anytime soon.
Getting the numbers, by the way, for Stadia is impossible. But when I looked up, is Stadia a dead platform? The second thing that came up was, and I quote, "Is Roblox a Stadia?" Question mark.
that is deep.
End sentence. That was the second most searched thing based on what I had put in.
Oh,
Is Roblox a Stadia?
That's what I'm
Anybody
thinking
that's
about.
listening, if you want to PM me on Twitter or something, and
Let us
tell
know
me
in the comments
answer to that.
below of
If
this
somebody
video
can
if you're
tell
watching
me-
on YouTube.
Yeah, can somebody tell me, is Roblox a
Is
Stadia?
Roblox
I need to
a
know.
I
Stadia?
just
I have
say
to know.
I think we just found our title. Is Roblox a
Roblox
Stadia?
Oh god.
Forget the 45 minutes of cyberpunk conversation. The real title that lets you know what this is about is Roblox a Stadia.
Literally.
Wild.
Um,
Wild.
But yeah, man, it's something that I definitely am excited to get to. A topic that I'm very upset with is the
Spicy.
how live streaming and social platform videos are being flagged for copyright and for the way that big old dusty corporations are taking away the ability to play music on streams and on YouTube videos, and it's getting kind of ridiculous at this point. You know, it's to a point where even yesterday on Logan's stream, my friend Nick was humming a song.
Oh yeah.
And there was a deep fear that, Logan could get DMCA'd on Twitch and get literally completely ass fucked by Twitch, banning him or he'd get a warning first, but
They sent a hit squad to my house.
right. It's just crazy, man. I don't know what to do about it. I try and play my lo-fi hip-hop beats to study/relax to every day when I stream, except for right now when I'm doing my Pokemon run, because I just let that music vibe out. And I'm scared of playing it because I'm going to get flagged and DMCA'd forever. And then I'm just going to get the big old DMC dick in my ass, And I just want the ability to play music and vibe out with my homies without the fear of getting banned on live streams or getting my demonetized on YouTube.
Boy, is it going to feel bad when you go through all these hoops to not play music and then Nintendo strikes your channel down for playing
Literally.
Pokemon music in-game on stream.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yep.
actually, you should be careful about that. Yeah.
I will deal with that when I deal with that.
Yeah. Now, I'll jump in super quick, and then Logan, I'll let you jump in.
Yeah.
Say your piece while I prepare my next statement. But I have a lot of specific things that I know about DMCA, and I know about that world that I want to make sure I put across succinctly so that I don't ramble on. But I play music on my stream, and my bet. Not that it's necessarily a good one, right? But because I'm not streaming to hundreds or thousands of people, right?
Right.
I don't think it's going to come for me first. I just delete my VODs, and it's not a huge deal. I'm playing music on my stream because I think the onus is not on the individuals that are playing the music, and the onus is on Twitch to work with the people that they need to work with in order to get this solved. Because I think there's a ton of super reasonable, super easy terms to come to get this taken care of. And I don't think it's going to take that long before there is a solution in place, because these little band-aid solutions of Twitch releases specific non-DMCA music that they found out some of the songs are still DMCA and you can still get in trouble for them even though they release them on their own, whatever. Those are just band-aid fixes that I think they're throwing in that really solve nothing, and I don't think it's worth it to completely change the landscape of live streaming because a bunch of old dusty suits haven't moved on to this century and solved the problems that they have. And to be honest, we talked about this a little bit ahead of time, but there's no reason that they should be striking people down. And that one guy that put a bill in that says that it's going to be a felony to play music on stream, there is no reason that they should make zero money and then kick people off of platforms instead of make some money from a new avenue. It's literally just more money generated for the industry if they just find a way.
I think and this might be a hot take, fingers crossed. I feel like we haven't had too many today, but I think if they allowed, like, even if they came to an agreement that the ad revenue that streamers would make would go towards getting the copyright of the songs, or coming to an agreement with with music companies, like, I think the big one is UGM, I think, is like the big one on YouTube that takes a lot of videos down or whatever.
UMG, yeah. Universal,
yeah. Even if they come to an agreement where they're like, hey, we'll give you the ad revenue that streamers make when playing your music to allow for them to continue playing your music, and that'll be it. And I think even small streamers like us. I mean Logan not yet, but when you get ads on, when people see ads, I think I make within a month maybe like $1.50 on ads.
Yeah, I make about 30 cents. So yeah, exactly.
Right, I would be totally fine giving it up. I would be like, if I can play "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey on my streams between the month of November 30th and December 31st, I want to do that. Music is such an important part of my life, and I know it's an important part of a lot of people that watch streams and do day-to-day tasks. And taking that ability to listen to music away from so many people and being able to connect with music from so many people is, honestly, that should be a felony in itself.
Yeah.
It blows my mind how
capital punishment.
Yeah. I know. I have tried taking the blue pill for so long and just going with it and saying yes, daddy. Whatever,
yes, Daddy Bezos.
Yes, daddy business, whatever you want. Take my livelihood, take my ability to connect with people with something that I'm extremely passionate about. I'm just I can't live with that, man. And if I know that that's going to be a felony, if that passes, which with the dusty old people that are in the government, they're going to be like, yeah, that's absolutely allowed. Yeah, let's take it. People aren't going to know. People that are starting out streaming aren't going to know. What are you going to throw them in jail? They're going to be like, Your Honor, I had no idea. Just like Logan, I didn't play the tutorial. I didn't read the terms and agreements when I signed on to this. Nobody does.
Should go to jail for skipping the tutorial. First of all, I want to make sure we make that clear.
Everybody should.
Logan, do you want to jump in for a couple of minutes? Because I do have a couple things I want to cover, but I want to let you get
I want to get another
before
drink
I go
too.
through.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree with what you guys said. I think I think at its root, the cause of this exact circumstance is the older industries, the older media refusing to adapt and integrate to new media. And it's not even like tinfoil. There is like literally, even not just in music, in video production, there is like a heavy bias and almost desire to undermine the efforts of internet content and personalities. Yep. And I think that's just something that's going to change when we're older, when the boomers are gone. Unfortunately. Yeah. Like I can't remember the article, but I literally read an article about one of the big labels. It was some executive saying like, why would we? It's our product. Why would we even consider negotiating or have it be used in whatever this is? Like, somebody who's probably like 60 years old or like in their 70s who just doesn't even care or want to seek
Just doesn't
new
get it.
revenue. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because the way they see it, right? Because the way that they've done it for the last 60 years is, CBS, is gonna play your song in an episode of a sitcom. They pay you 15 grand, and that's it. Shake hands, and we're done. That's how they do business, and that's all they know because they've been doing it for 60 years. Yeah, and then they just have no interest. So like the internet, what's that? Well, that's where I watch cat videos.
Yeah. Yeah.
Piano Cat.
Which probably is DMCA-able
Probably
now.
DMCA.
Oh, shouldn't even hum it. Oh, hold on.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Demonetized
Demonetized.
now on YouTube. Good job, Logan. Congrats.
Yeah.
I see a guitar in the back. Sorry.
Yeah, it's too close to music.
Yeah.
That could potentially play a DMCA song. That's another thing too. I'm starting to get everything hooked up, and I haven't worked out all the kinks yet. But once I do, I have my guitar set up to stream right through my computer, and like I can play along to songs, but I can't do it. I can't do it in the current landscape. Not allowed to.
I was wondering about that. Are covers still like viable or no? Or like I remember they used to be.
They've always been. You're always not supposed to.
So
in the current situation, you're never supposed.
It's a
to.
fun thing. Fun thing that you said that. So there's a couple of things. There's a streamer that has branded himself with music that he makes. I watch a lot of Tim the Tap Man, obviously, as we talked about before, and this guy Seth Drums donates all the time and posts links and shit. And I've watched some of his stuff, and he's really good at what he does, and he branded himself on something that he loves, which is great. He can't do covers with his drums anymore, and also, if I remember it right, I could be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's with a label, and if he plays music that the label owns, that he made, he gets DMCA'd by with music that he made himself.
Yep.
And the reason being is because the way the DMCA exists is that he has, in this scenario, well, he probably doesn't even have the rights to his own music because he doesn't have his masters. Right. But that's a whole. We could have an entire podcast just about how fucked up the music industry is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, basically, he has the right to the intellectual property of his music existing and to play it for himself because he wrote it. But he can't play it to other people because whoever the record company that he's with or whoever signed him, his label, has the rights to the songs, and they say, nope, you can't share that with other people without them paying for it. Yeah, it's absurd.
Insane.
Yep,
it's crazy.
And just to give you like a little background on how I'm going to throw a lot of things out there because I have a lot of personal experience with some of it, and some of the personal experience comes from a few years ago when I was studying this stuff in college, so it's a little bit hazy, but just work with me on the generals. Basically, licenses exist for every form of performance, whether that be a live performance of a song, a live performance of a cover of a song, music played in the background of a restaurant or a cafe or a grocery store. There is a license for playing music at a place where the music is specifically used as like an interaction, like a nightclub or something like that. Licenses exist. You pay a specific amount of money to play them either one time, each time. You pay a license to cover a year, and these licenses are sold or negotiated through 3 major performing rights organizations: ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. Things like UMG are all record companies that exist. The only one that I really know about. And they all feed into those 3 majors: ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. And they have licenses, and they sell licenses to people, and they take the money, and then they distribute that money as royalties to the musicians. They're basically like a middleman that goes through and separates the money as they see fit to the people and the parties that own shares of the songs. My girlfriend actually works for ASCAP, works in that industry. So the problem is there is no license that directly covers live streaming. Doesn't exist. Right. The closest thing is a restaurant, right? And the idea that it's not the main thing that's being offered at a restaurant. There's food. At a live stream, it's video games or content, reaction, whatever. But music is in the background, and that music is licensed. So I will be fair and say, as a musician and somebody who appreciates music, right, I want the artists to get paid. Yep. The unfortunate reality is that basically almost always across the board, if you have a recording company, if you have a label that you're signed to, they get 50%. Across the board. That's the way it works.
Right.
You can negotiate a little bit, but the baseline is 50-50. So if you write a song and you produce it and you mix it and you master it and you do everything yourself and you're on a label, you get 50%, they get 50%. That's how it is. And the recording companies, the labels, those are the ones that try to milk as much money out of the product as possible because they're a business and they exist just to make more money. Whereas the musician, some do, some don't, some do
Right.
it for the art, whatever. All they need to do, and I think we can agree on this, is create a system through Twitch, through other live streaming platforms, and I've talked to you guys about this a ton, and I don't know why it's not implemented. Just like restaurants that pay a yearly fee to each of the three major performing rights organizations, or PROs.
Uh-huh.
And it's based on the capacity. Okay? So if there's a restaurant or a cafe that can house 12 people at a time, these are just spitballing numbers, not accurate, but you pay $500 to each of them for a year, so $1,500 total, and you can play whatever music's under any of their umbrellas for the whole year. Done. The only problem is with streaming, there's vast differences, right?
Right.
They're going to have like 5 or 6 or 7 like blanket licenses they can sell to certain sizes of restaurants. There's a ton across Twitch. So what I suggest is do it percentage based to a cap. If you fall within a specific number of streamers, let's say, or viewers, let's say 0 to 100 viewers, 1 or 2 or 5 or 0.5%, whatever the percentage that they negotiate, is automatically removed, just like taxes, from your pay when Twitch sends it to you. Twitch makes the deal, so it comes out before you even see it. You don't have to pay it yourself as the individual. It's taken out and then gets distributed to those 3 major PROs. Once you reach the cap for the year, you're done, and you don't have to pay any more for the rest of the year. So if you're 0 to 100 viewers, let's say it's $500 a year for each of them. So you could choose to, out of pocket, pay it up front and say, here you go, here's the money, I just don't want to worry about it, here's the cash,
Right.
I'm going to play music all year. Or have it removed percentage based. And I think the deal should be that you don't ever have to pay the full amount, because if you don't make enough money to pay for that license, then you probably weren't streaming it to enough people that would have made you enough money to do it.
Yeah.
So do a very small percentage that comes off the top and just goes every time they pay you across the year. And if you meet the cap, then you're done for the year. If you don't meet the cap, that's just money they're making off of nothing.
Right.
And I don't see how there's an issue with this, because it's a new form of revenue.
Yeah.
All the people that are watching live streams are not actively choosing not to spend the money on music.
Right.
Their money would go to music, and it would just be new money for the industry. So I truly don't get it, but I think it's that simple. And then think about the huge streamers. You have guys that have 30,000 people. That's like a stadium. I can't even imagine how much money
A
it would
day.
cost to have those licenses. But you're telling me that Summit or XQC or Hassan,
The new Drake
Would
album's
Blink-
out today. We're checking it out.
would blink an album, or blink an album, would blink an eye if they said $10,000 for each of these recording organizations or performing rights organizations, $10,000 each. They'd shell out a $30,000 check and go, here you go.
Right.
Now you have 100 streamers that pay that $30,000 or whatever it is. It could be way more than that. You could probably get $500,000 to $1 million injected into the music industry, which isn't a ton, but it's some, instantly. And that's only the top 0.01% of Twitch.
Right.
And then passively be making money off of live streams and YouTube and Facebook, and just passively make money. It would be so easy. I just do not understand why somebody hasn't done this yet.
I think that kind of works. I think that works better than my idea of having the ad revenue go, because like even though the ad revenue will be dependent on the number of people that come and view your stream, so it would work in terms of distribution of payments via how big you are. I agree that the payments that you were discussing, I think that makes more sense, just because the way that I have it set up, you know, it depends, because if you have somebody that's live to 30,000 people 5 days a week, the amount of money that they're going to be giving this company is probably worth more than what the licensing would be to be able to share these songs. I don't know. There's some middle ground in between. I think that the way that you brought it up, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Yeah, but like that's up for the suits to decide, right? Like
Right,
you can
right.
figure out the exact number,
Right.
and I think the reason that the just shaving it off the top makes sense,
Right.
is because think of how easy it is to bring up like as PR to all the partnered and affiliate streamers.
Right.
Listen, we cut a deal with the record companies. You're not even going to see it if you agree to our new terms of service as a partner or affiliate. Let's just say it's 3%, whatever.
Right.
3% of what you earn goes to these performing rights organizations so that you can play their music, no hassles. You can opt out if you don't play music or you choose not to play DMCA music, but you are held liable if you opt out of the 3%. If you play music, you are liable to get DMCA striked and get shut down. You can choose not to pay, but then you just come into the current situation that we're in. Or you have the option to opt in, and then that's it.
Right.
No stress.
Like in a really great way too to like pitch this is like, imagine almost like, I don't want to say like a sponsorship deal, but like imagine like I don't know who plays like a lot of like FPS games. I don't know, like Tim.
Yeah.
Tim does a lot.
So like imagine he's playing, COD, Valorant, Overwatch, whatever.
Yep.
And he's just listening to the new Drake album that just came out. The new Taylor Swift album that just came out. Playing
Tonight,
it,
midnight. Let's go.
Oh, it is. I heard it was announced.
Any of my Swifties in the house? Swifties in the house?
That's
He's
me,
right
baby.
here. He's right there.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go. At 12 midnight.
Yep.
Ooh, okay. But yeah, so like imagine that though, that situation, right? Like you have 30,000 people watching their favorite streamer playing a game that's not, necessarily like where the audience needs the audio. So he can just sit there and have the new album playing even on a loop in the background. Hey, we're checking out the new album today. That's insane. Because then because the number of people who go on to listen to that on Spotify or buy the album is gonna be a decent number.
You know what would be even more crazy? And there's a couple of things that could happen. The way that I see it, like, I look at people like T-Pain, right, and Logic. Mm-hmm. I mean, Logic is retired now, but like they put music out and they also stream, right? So like, you know how big it would be for them to do like a team up with another streamer and like do like a quad stream or whatever, where the streamer that is playing with the musician is the one playing their album, and then you can be like, oh, I'm also interacting with the person that made this album. Or even like if you, all I'm saying is like if Drake came out with an album and then the day that it released he decided he wanted to play Fortnite with Ninja like he did before to help,
and they're listening,
Ninja would get a little bit of a share with Drake in terms of like Drake coming on and promoting his album, but like Drake would make an incredibly large amount of money just by streaming, playing Fortnite with Ninja. He doesn't even have to listen to his own album. Ninja can be the one to play it. Drake can just be jamming out to whatever. It doesn't fucking matter.
He can fucking sing it live on the mic.
Right. That's what I mean. Live. I think live concerts are like for Twitch. I think that's like an actual thing, or like it could.
Especially during the pandemic, people have been doing a ton of DJ sets and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You know who I love on Twitch right now that I go into once in a while. Fucking Kenny Beats.
I don't know.
I think I saw him on one of the Austin talent shows. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, he's insane. He goes in and he does battles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talent in the music directory on Twitch, and it's really a shame because I can't imagine the state of what they're doing. I mean, originals obviously fine, but
okay. I was just gonna ask that question from a place of ignorance, like someone like Corpse. Is he on Twitch or YouTube? I'm not even sure where he's
on YouTube.
But either way, so anybody who's doing, so if somebody's doing full originals, no like overhead company,
it depends.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if you're doing originals that are not recorded, then yeah, you have absolute right to.
Okay.
The problem is once a song is recorded, They're masters of that song. It's the original recording of that song with all the tweaks and engineering and everything done to it. It's the original version of that song. And it is usually owned by the label.
Okay.
You get, as the artist, all of the performance rights. Like, you're allowed to perform it, but there is no license that covers live streaming. So even if you're performing your own music live, if the label owns the masters, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So if I wrote a completely original song from scratch, did everything myself, but I'm signed with the label, that's part of the partnership we have. They basically, say, okay, you can use our studio and you can have access to all of our, platforms for promoting yourself, but we own half your music and we own your masters. So you can't perform them without our permission.
What about a scenario where someone like Logic or T-Pain, I'm sure they have some kind of tech in their home, right? Yeah. Some kind of mixing stuff. What if they're like, what if they want to mix, like, they're like, hey, I'm creating something completely new using the stuff that I've bought with my own money in my own house.
Yeah, you can do that. If you're making it live,
T-Pain actually does that. He has copyright-free beats that he put out. I use them once in a while. They're super good. I love them.
Yeah. What if you're?
I was just gonna say one great example. He's not on Twitch anymore. I think he's. Where is he now? YouTube, maybe? I don't know if he even does it anymore. Anyway, Deadmau5. He's not signed to, well, he was for a little bit, but he's not signed to a label. He has his own label and owns his masters and writes his own music. But he used to stream all the time, him making his own music. He would make it live. Like, he'd have cameras set up in his studio and everything, and he would walk people through while he's making his music. Yeah.
Right. And that's what Kenny does too. He makes beats on stream
live.
too.
Yeah.
So
now, what if you are what if you're signed to somebody, and just like the live scenario, but you pre-recorded it, but you did make it all yourself with your own equipment in your own home?
It's as long as it's not released through that label. So like if I'm signed to a record label, but I'm live streaming and I'm outputting like a new song or something, like, hey, I wrote this live with my blah blah blah. As long as part of your deal doesn't say that any music that you create is owned by the label, then yeah, you can do that. But there are that also exists where the label says anytime you create music, we get 50% or whatever like that. Yeah, but. That's some specific scenarios, but yeah, like if you're making your own music live or something, even if you're signed or something like that, if you're doing something off the cuff and fresh, then yeah, you can do that.
And believe it or not, I hate giving him credit where credit's due. Kanye West has been actively trying to help musicians get control of their masters.
Yeah.
I mean, Kanye's a whole, probably a series, the topic.
But
I'll say this: the man's when it comes to music, the man knows what he's doing. The man absolutely knows music. It's just other things where we run into issues. But we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
As a person, it's kind of like, as a person, Kanye West is absolute garbage. But as a musician and as a music businessman, I think he has a lot of solid concepts and ideas, and I think he knows a lot more than he tends to give off, which is
he min-maxed all his stats.
Right.
all his charisma and intelligent points in the music.
Right. For the record, we are at an hour and 28 minutes since I started recording. So yeah, I just wanted to give a mark as to where we are.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think
I feel like we're pretty close.
Yeah.
Too, so we can knock them
I think we covered everything pretty well. I feel like I got everything out about every topic.
Yeah. I think we covered everything pretty well. I think the console launch, I think we could have probably made that a broader concept and allowed us to go deeper into it. Even though we did go pretty deep into it.
We riffed a bit still. Anyway.
I feel great about it.
We definitely covered the time for that, but yeah. Who do you want to do the outro? Final thoughts and outro, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just say, hey, I thank anybody who's checking this out. This is just the first one. Hopefully there will be improvements. No idea what they could be because we're so great, but hopefully
if you liked the fucking video and you liked us talking, how about you subscribe to the channel and like the video if you're on YouTube? Don't be a jackass. Do it.
We didn't do it.
Listen, they tell you to ring the bell, and I know nobody rings the bell. Just ring the bell.
Just ring the fucking bell
on your phone. And if you don't want it, you can just swipe it off your screen. If you don't.
But you shouldn't ever do that. You just keep the bell.
I have a hot take on this one. Actually, I have our first hot take. I think
Closing
ringing the
out,
bell
and he
is-
comes in with the
and it's
hottest
gonna be
take of
against
the
our
night.
own promotion. Yeah, it's
Yep,
gonna be
yep.
your
So perfect. We're on brand. We're on brand.
Sweet.
So
I'll just cut it
I
out.
think.
Nate, it's fine.
Smart. Yeah.
Hey, who has the credentials for the YouTube channel? This guy.
Who's gonna hold the video? This guy.
I can learn, but I think that ringing the bell most of the time is useless. Like if you're watching I don't want to say professional, but like if you're watching a consistent person on YouTube, like most people I watch on YouTube upload at least once a day, or I mean, like, maybe this is all anecdotal, and I'm like a different case than most people, but like I don't miss when people upload, and like unless it's like a rare circumstance, and I don't have the bell on for anybody.
So you're correct,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not the point of the bell. The bell
Okay.
counts. The bell counts in analytics. Like you watch them anyway, but if you don't hit the bell, it counts not against
Okay.
them, but it helps
doesn't
if
count
they
for
have
them.
more subscribers with notifications on.
See,
Yeah.
first time on the creator side. I'm just thinking
Yep.
about it from the user
Plus-
side, where
Plus, like you said, right? You watch them like every day, whatever. I usually
Yeah.
do that too for the most part, and I'm also guilty of not ringing the bell. But the thing is too that the algorithm weights heavily views in the first hour, 4 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you have the bell on, you see it, you're more likely to watch it in the first day, which is the most
Okay.
important time period for like getting it out there and having people see it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I agree
okay.
with you. I agree with you. Like if you're watching all the time anyway, you don't
Mhm.
really have to, but it helps to get you in that habit of
Okay.
watching them every day because it helps them the most if you're watching the videos
Yeah.
first day.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is a crazy wild west of a space. But
Yeah. So what I'm gonna say is ignore Logan. Okay.
Always
Click
do.
the fucking bell. Okay. Just click it.
just ring the bell. Just ring the fucking bell.
It's not that hard.
Workers' revolution. We're unionizing. We're not clicking the bell.
Wow.
But yeah, and make sure you check us out. We're gonna try and get to as many podcast locations as possible. So maybe if you don't want to see our gorgeous, sexy looking faces, you could just listen to us on any podcast site. But don't tell me what you do because I don't want to know. I want to make sure that I know that you guys are watching my sexy ass face literally day in and day
Very
out.
important.
Yeah.
No. I most importantly want to make sure you're staring at me the entire time. I don't want to know what you're doing while you're staring at me. That is totally on you.
I want to know.
some rough
But I
touch.
want you to be looking at me the
Yeah,
whole
you
time.
you tell me what you're doing while staring at Nate.
I want you to look
in
me
the
my
comments.
eyes.
In the
Oh
comments. let us
shit!
know.
Look at him.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah, all of our socials will be in the description below. If
Sure.
you have anything that you
All our
want to
Twitches.
dispute with us, put it in the comments. We will read it and we
Ooh.
will answer some of them
You want to
if we
invite
can
that?
get to them
Hell yeah.
with the next
Hell yeah.
podcast. So
I love hate.
Have you
hate's
seen
great,
YouTube
man.
comments?
That's pretty much what
Yeah,
it
I
is.
love
It's hate
I
takes
love
and
hate.
cold brews, right?
Hot.
Hate takes. Oh god. All right, it's time to go.
All right. We will
Catch us
catch
on
you guys
Twitch.
later.
Guess we're all on Twitch,
Yep.
and we'll
Jim
have another
Sock
episode out next week.
Helikovsky.
Logs, blogs.
and we will catch you guys
Peace out,
on the next episode.
Catch you on the flippity flip.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right.